Greatness doesn't begin with others. It begins with you. The kind of team that builds a powerful vision isn't attracted to charisma, hype, or potential. They are drawn to structure. They are drawn to certainty. They are drawn to the presence of order and the absence of confusion. Before a team arrives, the leader must be prepared. Before the mission can move, the foundation must be sure. Before others believe in the dream, it must first be proven in your behavior. No one is coming to complete what you haven't started. No one is staying where there is no structure to grow. You don't prepare for a team when they show up. You prepare for the team so they show up. The reason most people struggle to build a great team isn't because they lack talent. It's because they tolerate chaos. A chaotic life repels order. A cluttered vision repels clarity. A reactive mindset repels momentum. When the assignment is unclear, you will attract people who are uncertain. When the values are negotiable, you will attract people who bend under pressure. When the purpose is hidden, you will attract people who are blind to commitment. It doesn't begin with better marketing. It begins with internal alignment. The team shows up for what you are, not what you announce. Build it before they come. Design it before they join. Live it before they follow. Vision is not just what's written on a whiteboard. It's what's proven in how time is used. It's how you handle pressure, how you treat people, how you respond when no one is watching. These are the signals that either attract high caliber individuals or push them away. If your life is built around distraction, you will attract the distracted. If your habits are inconsistent, you will attract the unstable. If your word is not trusted, you will attract people who play games. Great teams don't gather around noise, around direction. They don't show up for drama. They show up for destiny. You must raise the standard before you raise the volume. You must refine the vision before you recruit the people. It's easy to want loyalty, but loyalty cannot exist where vision is vague. It's easy to ask for excellence, but excellence cannot survive where leadership lacks discipline. It's easy to expect unity, but unity is a product of shared alignment, not forced agreement. You don't attract greatness by chasing people. You attract greatness by becoming a signal that stands for something, a signal that doesn't shift with trends, a signal that speaks of purpose without needing explanation. Write the vision, make it plain, and then walk it daily. The team does not follow inspiration alone. They follow implementation. People are watching how you handle your time. People are watching how you resolve problems. People are watching what you reward, what you tolerate, what you ignore. If you reward convenience, you will attract the comfortable. If you reward clarity, you will attract the committed. If you tolerate mediocrity, you will drown your mission in excuses. The team is always a mirror of the culture, and the culture is always a mirror of the leader's inner world. If you want a team that shows up early, start showing up early. If you want a team that communicates clearly, communicate with precision. If you want a team that builds relentlessly, stop taking breaks when it's time to build. There is no team building without personal building. There is no recruiting without refining. There is no collaboration without calibration. The dream demands design. The structure attracts soldiers. The preparation determines the partnership. Most people try to force the wrong team into the right assignment. It never works. The wrong person in the right place always creates tension. But the right person in the wrong structure always creates disappointment. Structure first. Standards next. Then comes synergy. When you're serious about the dream, you stop making room for dysfunction. You stop apologizing for standards. You stop second-guessing direction. You don't need approval to build. You don't need applause to align. You need a sharp eye, a consistent hand, and an unshakable will. This is what attracts the right team, not hype, but holiness in the work. Not volume, but value in every decision. Not perfection, but pattern. Predictability. Progress. You don't become attractive to high-level people by shouting louder. You become attractive by being clearer. Clarity is magnetic. Consistency is irresistible. Conviction is contagious. This is how great teams are formed, by precision, not persuasion. If you want warriors, stop building playgrounds. Build battlegrounds. If you want thinkers, stop speaking vaguely. Speak with intelligence and purpose. If you want builders, stop chasing attention. Start commanding focus. The world is filled with talented individuals looking for meaningful environments. But they will not enter a room that smells like disorder. They will not stay where mediocrity is normal. They will not build where nothing is being measured. The team you attract is the reflection of the life you live, not the one you pretend to have, not the image you try to portray, but the habits, the values, the systems, and the patterns that govern your daily choices. That is the seedbed of trust. That is the birthplace of excellence. That is the soil in which team chemistry, unity, and loyalty begin to grow. So the first question is not, where is my team? The first question is, what environment am I creating? Because everything begins with preparation. The harvest of team begins with the seed of personal alignment, and the dream is only as strong as the people willing to carry it. But people don't carry weak foundations. They collapse under them. Strengthen your center, clean your structure, refine your rhythm, get in alignment with what you say you believe, and then watch how the right people begin to show up, not just to follow, but to build. Dreams are easy to feel, they're easy to speak about, they're easy to imagine, but they're not easy to build. Emotion is a spark, but execution is the engine. One inspires, the other transforms. Many have big dreams, few have strong systems. Many feel called, few actually prepare, because what most call passion is often just excitement without follow through. If the dream is real, it must be built, not just spoken, not just posted, not just prayed about, built. Built. You can't build anything that doesn't have structure. Structure is how vision becomes visible. Structure is how movement becomes sustainable. Structure is how energy becomes progress. Teams don't rally around feelings. They rally around functions. They want to know where the work is going, why it matters, and how they can move it forward. You don't attract excellent people by dreaming bigger. You attract excellent people by executing consistently, not occasionally, consistently. Because greatness respects structure, not just speeches. Ask hard questions. What's the plan? What's the priority? What's the standard? Where's the scoreboard? If nothing is measured, no one knows if they're winning. If nothing is planned, no one knows what to focus on. If no one is accountable, excellence is a myth. People don't rise to your level of excitement. They rise to the level of clarity and execution. A team cannot execute a blurry vision. They cannot finish a task that keeps changing. They cannot align with leadership that keeps shifting under pressure. Every great team needs clear expectations, not feelings, not guesses, not assumptions. Every member of the team must know what's expected. Every meeting must have a purpose. Every task must have a standard. Every deadline must be honored. Discipline builds trust. Order builds rhythm. And rhythm creates flow. A leader who cannot organize will never mobilize. A leader who avoids correction will always tolerate confusion. And confusion kills the mission. Do not mistake motion for progress. Activity is not accomplishment. Just because something is loud doesn't mean it's effective. Just because people are present doesn't mean they're productive. Busy is not the goal. Execution is. Set priorities, protect time, enforce order, remove distractions before they remove direction, limit options before they limit impact, focus deeply before momentum disappears. The team watches everything. They watch how you use time. They watch how you handle conflict. They watch how you respond when things don't go as planned. Your habits give them permission. Your pace sets the tone. Your discipline becomes theirs. If you tolerate sloppiness, you will produce confusion. If you ignore delays, you will empower laziness. If you avoid feedback, you will create disconnection. The dream must be more than talk. It must be backed by timelines, outcomes, and accountability. Assign roles, track outcomes, measure growth. That's how you know the dream is moving. Not by how it feels, but by what's getting done. No one wants to follow chaos. No one wants to work without clarity. No one wants to pour effort into something that has no finish line. A real team does not need to be motivated every week. They need to be led. They need systems. They need truth. They need a pace that matches the purpose. Repetition is not punishment. It is refinement. If the team keeps hearing the same things, it's not because they are incapable. It's because culture is set by what's repeated. Every meeting is an opportunity to align. Every task is a reflection of the standard. Every delay is a sign to refine the system. You cannot scale what you haven't stabilized. You cannot grow what you haven't grounded. You cannot attract more if you haven't managed what you have. Execution is about order. And order attracts people who are serious. Disorder attracts people who waste time. What you track improves. What you ignore collapses. What you reward multiplies. So look at the structure. Where is the focus? Where is the waste? Because waste tolerated becomes loss multiplied. And what you lose through disorganization, no amount of motivation can recover. This is why systems matter. Not for control, but for clarity. Not for ego, but for excellence. Not for micromanagement, but for movement. Execution shows that the vision is not just a dream. It's a direction. It says to your team, this matters enough to be managed. It says to your partners, this mission is bigger than mood swings. It says to yourself, I am willing to become the person this assignment requires. Because that's what execution demands. It demands maturity. It demands responsibility. It demands delayed gratification. It demands consistent attention to small details before you see big outcomes. There is no fast lane to purpose. There is no shortcut to excellence. There is no elevator to high-level results. Only the stairs of daily execution. And execution doesn't wait for perfect timing. It works with what it has. It doesn't wait for applause. It focuses on alignment. It doesn't wait for the right people. It builds right now so the right people have a reason to show up. Your dream is worth more than emotional hype. It deserves a blueprint. It deserves follow through. It deserves a process. And the team that will one day carry it forward will not ask how excited you are. They will ask how prepared you are. They will check the systems. They will test the structure. They will examine the flow. If you are faithful to execute, others will be faithful to follow. If you create structure, others will find their place. If you uphold the standard, others will rise to it. Because emotion might attract attention, but execution builds legacy. Charisma is not enough. Being likable is not enough. Having energy, charm, or stage presence is not enough. People don't follow personalities. They follow purpose. They follow vision with weight. They follow clarity with direction. If the goal is to build something that lasts, it must be built on something deeper than personality, because personality fades. Purpose remains. Charisma might get people in the room, but purpose is what keeps them in the fight. A great team will not stay connected to someone who is emotionally unstable, even if that person is inspiring. A great team will not stay loyal to a voice that lacks consistency. They don't need fireworks. They need foundation. They want to know what the mission is. They want to know why it matters. They want to know where it's going. And they want to know how they fit into it. Purpose gives them that. Purpose speaks louder than hype. It organizes people. It aligns decisions. It brings meaning to sacrifice. No one wants to give their time, energy, and life to something that's undefined. No one wants to keep working in a place where the target keeps moving. No one wants to stay loyal to someone who keeps changing direction every time it gets hard. Purpose simplifies everything. It tells people this is what we do. This is why we do it. And this is the standard we operate by. Without that, confusion grows. Without that, trust erodes. Without that, momentum dies. A great team doesn't need constant inspiration. They need constant direction. They don't follow moods. They follow mission. And the mission must be clear enough that it can live without explanation. It must be embedded in the culture. It must shape conversations, decisions, priorities, and rewards. Purpose creates predictability. Predictability creates stability. And stability creates momentum. That's why alignment matters. Because even talented people will lose interest in an assignment they can't connect to. Even gifted people will drift in an environment that lacks meaning. Talent without alignment becomes a liability. But average skill with deep alignment becomes a powerhouse. If the environment is inconsistent, people will protect themselves. They won't give their full effort. They won't bring their full ideas. They won't take full responsibility. They will hedge their bets because the mission isn't secure. That's why values must be visible, not in theory, but in action, not just in words, but in decisions. Do people see what matters here? Do people know what's unacceptable here? Do people know what we fight for here? If not, they won't follow along, because clarity is a leadership responsibility. Purpose is a leadership decision. Alignment is a leadership lifestyle. Culture is not what you post. Culture is what you enforce. It's what people can predict about your response. It's how people feel after they interact with your system. Do they leave confused? Do they leave frustrated? Do they leave wondering what matters? If so, the purpose is not visible enough. If so, the structure is not strong enough. If so, the direction is not consistent enough. And here's the truth: purpose does not apologize for standards. Purpose does not compromise with confusion. Purpose does not partner with dysfunction. When the mission is clear, you don't need to beg people to show up. You don't need to manipulate. You don't need to chase. Clarity becomes the filter. Standards become the invitation. And culture becomes the gate. The wrong people will exit. The right people will engage. Not because you begged, but because you built something they respect. Respect is not earned by being nice. Respect is earned by being clear. Respect is earned by living what you preach. Your presence must be predictable. Your words must be weighty. Your message must be rooted. A scattered leader produces a scattered team. A double-minded leader produces double vision. And double vision always leads to division. Say what matters. Repeat it often. Back it up with action. When purpose is visible, trust grows. When purpose is repeated, people align. When purpose is lived, people rise. They don't rise because of pressure. They rise because of principle. They rise because the mission makes sense. They rise because the environment demands it. That's why personality is never enough. Because when the storms hit, and they will, it won't be your energy that keeps things afloat. It will be your values. It will be your structure. It will be your clarity. The stronger your purpose, the stronger your pull. Not everyone will come, but the right ones will. And they will come not for applause, but for assignment. People don't want to be used. They want to be useful. Purpose gives them that. It lets them connect their gift to something greater than themselves. It gives meaning to the mundane. It gives fuel to the grind. It gives significance to their sacrifice. So stop trying to be liked. Start being aligned. Stop trying to impress. Start being clear. Because teams don't follow personality. They follow certainty. They follow truth. They follow vision that stands. And where that vision stands strong, people will run with it. Not because of how loud it is, but because of how true it is. A great team is not just gathered. It is grown, it is developed, it is stewarded. You do not build a legacy by collecting people. You build it by cultivating them. Every person connected to your vision is a responsibility, not an accessory. People are not stepping stones. They are assignments. They are not here to make you look great. They are here to fulfill something greater. Through you, with you, and sometimes in spite of you. So if the dream is to last, the builder must be faithful, not flashy. Faithful. Stewardship means managing well what you already have, not just dreaming about what's next. If you're not maximizing your current team, more people will only multiply dysfunction. If you're not honoring who's with you now, expansion will only expose immaturity. The first test of leadership is stewardship. How well do you listen? How well do you correct? How well do you prepare others to win? Teams don't grow where there is neglect. They don't flourish in confusion. They don't stay where they're used, but not valued. Stewardship requires investment. And investment isn't just money. It's time, attention, feedback, development. You can't lead who you avoid. You can't grow what you don't challenge. You can't build with people you don't understand. You must care enough to confront. You must believe enough to expect more. You must be strong enough to hold others to the standard consistently. Stewardship is leadership under pressure. It's not passive. It's not reactive. It's active, intentional, accountable. You build a great team by calling people higher, not by lowering the standard. You attract greatness by creating an environment that honors discipline, growth, and truth. You multiply impact by creating leaders, not dependents. And that starts by modeling what you want to see. If you want clarity, be clear. If you want excellence, be excellent. If you want integrity, be consistent. People don't listen to words, they follow example. If your tone is unstable, theirs will be defensive. If your pace is frantic, theirs will be sloppy. If your priorities shift daily, their focus will scatter. Stewardship means creating a predictable culture, not boring, but structured, not controlling, but intentional. Your culture must tell people, this is what matters, this is how we operate, this is what we don't compromise. Where that clarity is missing, loyalty breaks. Where that standard is weak, performance drops. Where that direction is soft, momentum dies. You are not building robots. You are shaping leaders. So don't just delegate tasks, transfer trust. Don't just issue commands, communicate context. Don't just expect results, teach responsibility. People rise when they feel prepared. People excel when they feel trusted. People stay when they feel valued. Stewardship also means pruning, removing what no longer fits, correcting what is off course, saying no to what threatens culture. You do not tolerate what compromises the mission. You do not allow what drains the standard. You do not excuse what blocks growth. Growth is not always addition. Sometimes it's subtraction. Sometimes it's replacement. Sometimes it's redirection. Because the goal is not to keep everyone happy. The goal is to move the vision forward in unity, in strength, in truth. Don't let dysfunction hide behind loyalty. Don't let poor performance survive because of comfort. Don't let the fear of confrontation block the flow of excellence. This is stewardship creating clarity, enforcing culture, building systems, protecting mission, correcting patterns, reinforcing values. You don't manage by emotion. You manage by alignment. You lead with authority, not aggression. You correct with love, not compromise. Your dream cannot outgrow your ability to manage people well. Your vision cannot expand beyond your capacity to build team health. Your future cannot be sustained if your people are constantly drained. So check the pulse. Are people growing under your leadership? Are conversations honest and consistent? Is correction normal or avoided? Is clarity strong or assumed? Great stewardship means you're not always liked, but always respected. It means you're not always perfect, but always present. It means you're not leading for comfort. You're leading for completion. And completion requires cultivation. You develop people. You challenge them. You stretch them. You hold the line. The wrong people will resist it. The right people will rise because of it, because the standard protects them. The structure empowers them. The clarity liberates them. And when people are trusted, stretched, and empowered under strong stewardship, they don't just perform. They own the vision. They don't just serve the mission. They become the mission. That's how legacy is formed. Not by control, but by cultivation, not by dominance, but by design. So if you want a great team, don't just recruit them, refine them. Don't just gather them, grow them. Don't just use them, equip them. Because what you build into others is what they will multiply in the future. And every seed of intentionality you sow now will become the harvest of excellence you reap later. That is the power of stewardship. It turns moments into momentum. It turns pressure into preparation. It turns people into pillars. And when you lead with that level of clarity, honor, and discipline, you don't just attract a team. You build an army. Stop waiting for people to join you. Become someone worth joining. Build with vision. Lead with principle. Stand with purpose. And watch how the right team begins to form to build the dream that won't just last, but multiply.